a little bit of a love-hate relationship with travel. I sometimes get confused on how to even talk about it because I enjoy traveling. And sometimes I even enjoy the process. I really do. I'm like one of those weird people. But I also hate traveling because of the airport experience for the most part. SeaTac is the worst. There's like a handful of just awful airports in this country. But what bothers me the most is that people pretend SeaTac Airport is great, which makes it even worse to me because now you're just pretending that there are no issues there.
It's much like Seattle.
Exactly, 100%. And weirdly, airports that I really enjoy, or at least I think do a good job, sometimes get ripped, like Reagan International. Like, that's a great airport.
I've only been one time.
It's great. And I think maybe mostly it's great because of how easy it is to get into D.C. when you land. Like, it's just outside of D.C.
Yeah.
But I caught a story or a blog from Nate Silver that was really fascinating to me because they were talking about when you should get to the airport and the downsides of getting to the airport based on when you get there. And he's got a rule of 60 minutes before the flight you should arrive. I like to play a little bit more dangerously. I'm a 45 minutes to go. When I get to the gate, there should only be like 20 minutes to 30 minutes before they're opening the gate for people to get on.
I'm the same way.
I've been able to manage that well. It almost caught me one time, but so far, so good. So he writes about the guidance on when to show up. And he pointed to a blogger who does travel blogging by the name of Gary Leff. It's View from the Wing is the blog. And he says Leff recently estimated that $83 billion worth of productive time last year was wasted because of people showing up hours in advance at American airports. And he gets into, some honest disagreement on the calculations. He says, for one thing, excess time at the airport isn't exactly wasted. Some airports can be pleasant spots for people watching, putting headphones on and getting some work done, or having a refreshing pre-flight beverage. I guess. But the reality is, most people are just doing nothing. I know that because I see people doing nothing. They're just on their headphones. They can be doing that at home or at a park or something. I get that people like to show up to the airport just in case. And if you're going to do nothing anyway and listen to podcasts or the Seattle Red app or whatever, you might as well do it at the airport and avoid any kind of potential headache getting into I get that part. But when I happen to get to an airport, let's say I miscalculate, I'm a little bit earlier, or there's a delay, I look at it as this is my time being wasted. And yes, I will do some work occasionally. I'll write some stuff for SeattleRed.com, in the past, our old website I was writing for. Like, I'll do some of that, but it's just kind of wasted time. And it's hard, at least for me, it's hard to concentrate when it's just so loud and there's so much stuff going on. And I do not, as much as I agree generally in this blog with Nate Silver, I'm not sure you can call people watching useful time, right? That's waste. That's waste. Who shows up 3 hours? And part of it is it's the airports and the travel officials who tell you to show up to an airport for a domestic flight 2.5 hours early, or an international flight 3.5 hours early. They do this out of an abundance of caution. Let's update that guidance. Can we? We can update that just a little bit. There's no reason to get there 2 hours early. But Jason, what if something happens? Yeah, think about all the times you've been to the airport. Regardless, if it's anything from SeaTac, where there have certainly been instances in which there have been one-offs where things go really bad, or Painfield, which I've never heard a single negative thing about. When have you really, truly ever had to get there 2.5 hours early?
Even at SeaTac, which is slow and annoying, I've never really even come close to missing a flight.
Right. So what's the point of it? Is it that we know that people, if you tell them an hour, will take advantage and make it 20 minutes beforehand? So when you tell someone like 2 hours, it really means to them 1 hour. Is that the estimate that they're doing? Because it's certainly true that there are people who are slow and could hold up a flight from taking off. But dare I say, that's on the flight crew, right? That's on the airline itself. You don't. I know someone checked in your computer system. It says, Joe checked in 20 minutes ago and is not at the gate. Well, that's Joe's fault. That's on him. If you're already checked in, it means you got past security, doesn't it? Or at least you're in line. The line's not that long. And unless the line is like out the airport and you're wrapping around SeaTac as the whole, you're already in Des Moines and you're waiting online still. Okay, fine. You can give them a little bit of grace. But beyond that, that's on you. That's on you. And I'm willing to take responsibility if I were to miss a flight because I get there so, close to gate opening time. I've always made it. Even the time that was close, it wasn't even that close. Mm-hmm. I was in line when they opened the gates. I like to be out of there with 5-10 minutes before they open the gates.
Yeah, same.
Right, but so if I'm in line still, and I'm like, oh no, this might be close. Even then, it wasn't that close.
Yeah.
I think I just walked on when they were letting the first group of people on after the poor people like you. That was when I felt dirty. I didn't like going on with people like Jackson. Just kidding. He takes Spirit. I would never do that. It's Jason Rantz Show.
So, Greg, how have the changes at the IRS actually impacted collections?
Jason, I really have not seen any change in collection. And in fact, quite the opposite. IRS is sending out notices much quicker and less of them. It used to be there'd be 5 or 6 notices that would come out. Now they're doing 3.
So if you're having trouble with the IRS, you have to call Greg Nunn of None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions.